Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. It's 10 a.m. I hear that the recording is in progress. I take it that you are forming quorum, Mr. Bauer. Am I correct? Mr. Bauer? You are muted.
Good morning, Chairperson. Your internet is very unstable. Switch off your video. You were asking, Chairperson.
I wanted to check if we form quorum.
Yes, we do, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you so much. Once again, good morning, honorable members and colleagues. Today we're meeting with the Department of Electricity and Energy to get a sense of what is happening with regards to the issues that have been raised with us that we have shared with all members and the department, I think as far as last week, in relation to the issues that pertain to the department. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you. Ideally, we should be meeting virtually, but we should be meeting physical, but we all know that there has been a request that was made in the National Council of Provinces that from, I think, just before we went on I don't know whether you call it recess or what, until after elections, majority of our meetings and our sittings will be conducted virtually. With that in mind, I hope that all of us, our network is in order, will be able to participate. I'm not a fan of virtual meetings precisely because we are dependent on the availability of power and that of the network. And if any of the two is not in order, your participation becomes extremely limited. And at the same time, sometimes when you speak, you are speaking there, only find out you are muted, we can't hear you, and you have made serious inputs. And when you have to come back because we have been made aware that you were not audible, you might not necessarily raise the issues as you would have raised them earlier. So I hope everyone would be able to raise views and there will not be any problem with connection and that of power. Well, with that in mind, Mr. Bauer, do we have any formal apology that you have received?
Yes, Chairperson. Ms. Dlamini had a doctor's appointment this morning.
That's the only formal apology that you have.
That's correct, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you. Let me check with honorable members. Is there any member that might have to leave? Because I see there are plenty of meetings that are taking place in Parliament. Some of them are clashing with scheduled select committee meetings. Is there any member probably that if we're not finished by a certain time, he or she will have to leave? Honorable members? Going
Nothing
once,
from us, Chair. Thank you.
going twice, gone. So all of us are here. Thank you, Honorable Boshoff, for that. We'll then move straight to the department and check with the department if there's any apology from the department. I'll check with the minister if there's any apology.
Good morning, Chair. This is Nhlamulo, and good morning to the Deputy Minister on the platform and the execs from ESKOM. We did submit a formal apology to the Secretariat yesterday, a written signed apology of the Minister. He's currently participating in the South Africa-China Investment Conference, and that's the reason why he's not available. The Deputy Minister is on the platform and will be leading the delegation from the department. But furthermore, Chair, we also did receive an apology from the Acting Director General, which was also sent to the Secretariat. I just wanted us to note those two. Thank you.
You are saying you sent the apology of the minister yesterday?
Yes, Chair.
So it was only yesterday that you learned that the minister will not be part of the meeting?
Chair, I sent the formal apology yesterday, We were aware of the departure of the minister on Saturday, yes, but we did send it formally on Monday, yesterday.
Yeah, please, next time don't do that. If there's any apology, it doesn't matter the day or the time. Because now the issue is that the Secretariat might have missed it because of the number of things that are happening. Well, I don't even know what time you sent it yesterday. So next time, if there's any apology, immediately you receive it, please send it on time so that it's recorded. It should have been read out as part and parcel of the formal apologies that have been received. Can we do that?
Are you setting a formal standard, Chair? Because I mean, there was a reasonable time. I mean, I sent it in the morning, so there's a
You're not
reasonable
hearing
time.
our argument, Tlamol. Please listen to our argument. Our argument is that we send an invite on time to the department, indicating that we would have this meeting. At the point you realize that the minister will not form part of the meeting, immediately send us an apology. Don't wait for the 11th hour, because you are saying you sent an apology yesterday, whilst you knew on Saturday that the minister will not be in the meeting. Your apology was not read as part of the formal apologies that have been received, simply because the secretariat that you send the apology to might have missed it due to the number of activities that are happening. That's all you are asking. We're asking that as soon as you realize that the minister or the deputy minister will not be in the meeting, please furnish us with the apology immediately. That's all you are asking. You believe that you send the apology on time. We believe that it was not on time. It was on the 11th hour. When you sent the apology yesterday for today's meeting, doesn't sit well with us. When you receive an invite, you did not receive an invite yesterday. You did not receive an invite on Sunday or Saturday. You received an invite sometime last week. We gave you ample time so that you can go through everything that you are raising with the department. All you are asking is that whenever the minister or deputy minister is not in the meeting, please notify us immediately you receive that apology. Is that possible?
Yeah, Chair, I would like to put it on record that there has been interaction between our office and the Secretariat.
Tamolo, you're not responding to my request. I'm requesting a simple thing. Is it possible that as and when there's a likelihood that the minister or deputy minister will not be in a meeting, immediately you will be furnishing us with their apology?
Your injunction is accepted, Chair.
Can we then move? Deputy Minister, I am told you are in a meeting. Want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the meeting. We had the then Deputy Minister that we worked with, very, very highly involved in the affairs of the department, very, very available for the committee, and whenever we needed her, she was there. Whenever the minister is not in the meeting, she would take over the delegation. She'll lead the delegation to the meeting, and she was well informed on the issues that are happening in the department. I want to believe she worked very well with the minister and the team in the department led by the DG. And we hope, or rather the acting DG, and we hope that the same commitment that the then deputy minister had is the same commitment that you'll have, and that the support that she received in the department is the same support that the officials will give to you, so that you are also able to articulate the departmental vision and the mission, and be able to be responsive to the issues that are raised by the committee. We want to assure you one thing and one thing only. We are here to work with you. We are not your enemy, but we'll make sure that the issues that affect the people of South Africa are raised without fear, and that where we believe that the department is not coming to play, we'll also tell you without being scared of anything. And we hope that you'll also do the same. Where you feel that the committee is not doing what it's expected to do, you'll also raise it without fear. And that when you feel that members are not doing justice in the manner in which they are engaging with you or the department, you'll also say it so that the relationship between us as a committee and you as a department should not be that of I don't know, Adam or Cain. It must be a relationship of people who wants to take South Africa to a certain level and then a step further than where we are now. You are in a department that is very crucial to the well-being and the economic growth of the country. Any other department can do whatever they can do, but if this department is not working properly, if this department is not advocating for whatever it is that it needs in order to ensure that there's electricity for the people in the deepest rural of the country, then we will have failed them. When we leave this seventh administration, us as a committee, together with yourself as a department, we should be able to look back and say, at least during our time, this particular rural area had no electricity. Today, they've got electricity that is available, or they've got solar that is available, or this project that we said we were going to do, we're able to do it, and we're able to deliver it on time, within budget, and of quality. So we want to welcome you, and rest assured, we're going to work hand in glove with yourself, like we did with the previous DM. Don't feel anything untoward. We're not your enemies. That's the main message that I want you to take home today. This committee is not your enemy. This committee is a committee that wants to see that South Africa is a better place at the end of the day. Maybe with this opportunity, whilst Mr. Bauer is flighting the agenda, we give it to you to give us your opening remarks, seeing that this is your first meeting with us. Unfortunately, it's a virtual meeting. It will have been nicer that we are in a physical form so that we get to see each other. You know, the facial expressions and the body language also send a particular message, how your hand gestures and so on. So let's take this opportunity to give it to you to do your opening remarks whilst you are waiting for Mr. Bauer to share the agenda with us. Over to you, DM.
Yes, no, good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to the honorable members, and thank you very much for that warm welcome. I would like to assure you that, it wasn't too long that I was on the other side of the portfolio committee, and so I endeavored to hold the same standard that I had when I was a member of parliament, and to make sure that the department and the entities that I represent are forthcoming in the responses and information sharing. And I also do look forward to a productive and constructive relationship with all the members going forward. So that is my commitment to you, and then also to appreciate the committee for your oversight role. It's an important accountability measure that helps us as a department maintain, good governance. But since you've allowed me to make some open remarks, Chairperson, on the topic of the agenda today, it's a very serious issue of mismanagement and maladministration in many of our non-performing municipalities. And it has been a matter of public discussion and scrutiny, for which the Auditor General in particular has raised over many years in many of its audit reports. And more recently, we saw National Treasury also take a tougher stance with regard to this problem in relation to the equitable share funding, as a measure to encourage, much needed behavior change and to enforce consequence management. And Chairperson, you just as it took a whole of society approach to overcome load shedding with, contributions from households and businesses who moved over to solar, to reduce demand, introduction of IPPs, etc. So too, we are going to need a stronger, more coherent whole of government effort, where all of the role players from national, provincial, local spheres play their part to ensure a stable and sustainable electricity ecosystem. And Chairperson, I will say that it's therefore very disappointing that we do have so many municipalities who have accrued billions of rands of debt owed to ESKOM over the many years. And with some, like this municipality, Nuba, Yethemba municipality, that is under scrutiny today, seeming unwilling to be able to make meaningful remedial steps and start correcting the situation and demonstrate that spirit of cooperative governance that our constitution requires. And, Chairperson, the debt to ESKOM cannot be treated like an ordinary dispute. It reflects a wider failure of financial government and revenue management and political accountability as well. In many instances, municipalities are collecting the electricity revenue from residents and businesses, but they are failing to ring fence it and to then pay over those funds to ESKOM. And this weakens ESKOM's financial position, it constrains investment in electricity infrastructure, and it shifts an unfair burden onto consumers and municipalities who do in fact pay their accounts. And ultimately, it is the residents who suffer from, unreliable energy supply. Chairperson, I want to let you know that last week I attended a ministerial engagement with defaulting municipalities on the municipal debt relief program. It was convened by COCTA, and I was very alarmed to learn that this was the one and only municipality that we're discussing today that have refused to enter into the distribution agency agreement that is being offered to defaulting municipalities to assist with the recovery of debt owed to ESKOM. To the extent that this municipality actually passed a council decision against taking this option. Chairperson, I view that as, irresponsible and reckless because it undermines the intergovernmental partnership required to address this deepening debt spiral, and which increasingly threatens reliable electricity to households and businesses who are paying their accounts. Chairperson, I'm sure I don't need to mention to the members, but let me do anyway, that should the lights go out in municipalities, the impact on vulnerable communities, the sick, the elderly, children, women, it's their dignity, it's their health, it's their safety at risk. And no municipality can attract investment without reliable access to electricity, as it threatens existing jobs, it threatens the local economy, and that is why Chairperson ESKOM and national government departments are really exploring all avenues with this municipality as well as other defaulting municipalities when it comes to the arrears of debt. Chairperson, I'd also just like to, acknowledge the residents, the ratepayers associations, etc., who do hold the municipalities and the leadership accountable, because in the end, it is indeed the municipality. They are the people of that municipality. And then lastly, Chairperson, if I can just close, I am once again appealing to the municipality. I'm not sure if they are online, to please go back to their council and reconsider their decision and enter into that distribution agency agreement with ESKOM. It will be a demonstration of their commitment that they would like to, that they want to pay their debt off, as well as it will be a demonstration of their commitment to their residents, that they are serious about keeping the lights on and keeping their local economy and the jobs and the livelihoods in that municipality active. Chairperson, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DM, for those wonderful words and the input that you have made. I'm sure you have laid the proper ground in relation to the presentations that you are going to receive. And surely those that will be making presentation will just will take it at that level in which your input has really been made, the pitch of your input. So, honorable members, we have our agenda before us. We're just dealing with the briefing by the department on the impact of non-payment of electricity tariffs to ESKOM by local municipalities, and whether the prepayment agreement, which was reached in 2026 with local municipalities, is it restrictive in the amount of electricity, or is it able to purchase, does not technically equate to punitive load reductions. So those are the two pointers that the presentation will be focusing on. I see Honorable Boshoff hands is up. Let's take the Honorable Boshoff's hands.
Sorry, Chair. I was just going to move for the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let's summary do that, because I wanted to go there as well. Honorable Boshoff is already moving for the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a seconder? If I can't see you, please indicate. Honorable Pinar,
Morning,
I see
Chair.
your hand.
Okay.
Good morning, Chair. Morning, colleagues. I'm second the Honorable Bosso.
Honorable Pinar seconds. Honorable Nodata, I saw you came through the screen.
Yes, I wanted to also second the adoption of the agenda, Chair. Thank you.
then the agenda is overwhelmingly supported as proposed by Honorable Boshoff to be adopted. DM, I'm not sure from the office who is leading the presentation. I will hand it over to you. You know your team, and we'll allow them to make the presentation. It's now, what time is it? It's 10:20. Hoping that by 11 they'll be done so that we have enough time for the engagements. So I'll hand over to you, DM. You would know who's making the presentation. I'll only come back at 11. Thank you, DM.
Yes, sorry, I'm struggling to unmute. Yes, ESKOM will be making the presentation. I think Mr. Junaid Munshi will open up and then hand over to the team. I'm not sure if they will flight or if your secretary will please flight the presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson, Honourable Members and DM. Junaid Munshi, Group Executive, ESKOM Distribution. I'll be taking the committee through the presentation this morning. Bring it. Kindly confirm if this presentation is visible through the chair.
It is on the screen, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So good morning once again. Our presentation will specifically focus on Inxuba Yethemba Municipality, and in particular we'll focus on the debt situation as per the agenda. We also thought it important, as we like, to reiterate the situation regarding Munich debt overall. So I'll open with those few opening slides just to put matters into perspective across the entirety of our municipalities, and then zoom in on the specifics of Inxuba Yethemba Municipality. I've also been joined today by our colleagues from what we call the Cape Coastal Cluster, who are on the ground and who deal with this particular municipality to address any specific questions that might come up during the discussion. Municipal debt, as we have socialized at various forums across government, including Parliament in its various forms, remains quite a structural challenge for ESKOM to overcome. If left unresolved, the Munich debt situation will certainly undo the gains of not only the debt relief program, but it also undermines our strategic intention to unbundle the distribution division as part of the industry reform measures. And moreover, it is also posing quite a significant threat to the very financial sustainability and well-being of the ESKOM balance sheet in particular, which then also compromises our ability to raise funding, to service our existing loans that we get for the development and expansion of our network and infrastructure. And more so, it also puts further pressure on the vast majority of our customers through continued tariff adjustments and increases, which, as we know, is also one of the major challenges that we need to overcome as an industry in general. Through the Minister of Finance, during the midterm budget policy statement in November 2025, defaulting municipalities were encouraged to transition to the distribution agency agreements. It is effectively a process which allows for active partnering between ESKOM and the municipalities to help resuscitate the functioning of the municipality insofar as its electricity services are concerned. And all of the municipalities that were impacted, that were severely indebted through their arrears, were then offered this opportunity to partner with ESKOM through the DAA. In particular, what the DAA does is it partners with the municipality to address challenges relating to collections from customers, to minimize losses, improve measures around maintenance, and also to assist with providing expertise when it comes to modernization of their respective municipal infrastructure, including expansion of technologies like our smart metering rollout, which ESKOM is also undertaking. Overall, we are making relatively good progress in our engagements through National Treasury, through the municipalities, through COCTA, SALCA, and various other forums. to encourage municipalities to adopt the distribution agency agreement, which we find as our primary tool to help alleviate the problem of the Munich arrears when it comes to bulk electricity payments to ESKOM. The chart on the left-hand side.
Junaid?
Yes.
Just hold on for a second. I see Honorable van den Berg hands it up. I'm not sure if he wants to bring something to our attention. Honorable van den Berg?
Good morning, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Yes, the presentation is not following the speaker. They must just check that they are on the right slide. Thank you.
Oh, the presentation is not moving. Okay. Are you the one controlling, Junaid?
I am, Chair. I am on the second slide, slide 3 of 10 on Zoom.
We still have the Select Committee on Agriculture, Land Reform and Mineral Resource. I think it's your cover page.
Okay, let me see if I can fix from my side.
Yeah, maybe if you can put it on the presentation slide.
Okay, one moment.
Thank you so much, Honorable van den Berg. Just that I'm following through the tablet.
Are we able to see my slides now, Chairperson?
We see the municipal debt requires structural interventions to protect service delivery. Is that the slide?
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay, then you see the slide.
Okay, so I will go back for a second on this particular slide, and then we'll continue from there on. I'll just each time just confirm that we're on this correct page, just to be sure.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. Thanks for raising that. So, as I was saying, effectively, municipal arrears pose a significant existential problem to ESKOM. It undermines a lot of the efforts that we ourselves are trying to advance insofar as provision of service to deep rural communities and others who have not been with electricity since their very inception. And in order to do that, we do need to ensure that ESKOM remains a healthy, viable entity. It is fundamental not only to our existence, but the very economy, livelihood of our citizens and the economy itself. We found ourselves in an unfortunate situation that there's been a growing the Munich debt situation has been growing uncontrollably. Through the Minister of Finance, during the midterm budget policy statement in November, we started to implement the distribution agency agreements, which essentially provides an active partnering framework with our municipalities insofar as electricity service provision is concerned, to be able to assist through feet on the ground that have the right expertise and experience to assist municipalities that are facing distress to rehabilitate the sector of their operation. In particular, we look at ways in which we can improve collections, ways in which we can improve maintenance of infrastructure, and also advance their technology through initiatives such as smart metering in partnership with the municipalities. We move to now slide 3 of the presentation. This slide basically puts into perspective the national picture when it comes to Munich debt. Unfortunately, the situation is spiraling out of control, and our efforts to implement the DAA have been positively received by the vast majority. It does have to follow a particular process, as we've understood and as we are working towards. And thus far, Chairperson, we have been able to onboard 4 municipalities. It's been early days yet, but that effectively entails ESKOM providing capacitation through resources that have the necessary experience to work alongside the municipalities to assist in rehabilitation of their efforts. It also means that electricity collections are then channeled into the settlement of current accounts for bulk electricity service provision. And also we enter into payment arrangements in order to start working our way through the arrears that go through. And these arrangements are proving to be quite successful insofar as the municipalities who have responded so far. On this particular chart, the scary picture that it presents to us as an organization, and I think it threatens the very foundation of our economy, is that if left unattended, we're forecasting the municipal arrears debt to reach a staggering 350 billion rand by FY31, 5 years from now. That 350 is equivalent to our annual revenues as ESKOM, as an organization, which is also under pressure, given various factors, which I will not cover in this presentation. But I think it's needless to say that we need to arrest this as a structural problem. And it does rely heavily on the cooperation of our municipal partners to work with us in order to the debt relief measures that were put forward by National Treasury have also unfortunately adopted widely by the municipalities that were impacted, with only 8 out of the 71 municipalities compliant and paying their current account. 11 municipalities are honoring their full current account status. And we continue tirelessly to work towards the implementation of the DAA as the primary tool with which to overcome the challenges that we've had. We've also been working with National Treasury to look at ways in which we can write off some of these debts on a case-by-case basis, and also to offset some of the interest that accrues on these accounts, which is part of our normal course of business itself. In conclusion, on this slide, the solution to the municipal debt growth is critical very much to our financial sustainability as ESKOM and the industry in general, and it definitely is compromising and retarding the legal separation timelines of ESKOM distribution in particular. The President has just this week announced on the NTCSA side and the transmission system operator, but we would like to also progress with the distribution business, which unfortunately is being hampered directly by the mounting municipal debt, as depicted in the slide here. I'm on to the next slide, which is slide 4 of 10 in the pack. To summarize, basically, the distribution agency agreement provides many benefits to us in the active partnering model that we have put forward to our municipal partners. Amongst other, it strengthens service delivery. It enables structured partnerships between the municipality, ESKOM, and National Treasury. Aims to significantly improve the reliability and quality of electricity distribution in our historically underserved areas. As you know, Chairperson, we still have a long way to go to close that out, and I think that is something that we at ESKOM are very focused and passionate on. Number 2, it improves financial discipline by ring-fencing electricity revenues, and introducing enhanced governance mechanisms which will provide for better collection, reduction of municipal debt growth, and strengthening local fiscal management. It also ensures that bulk electricity payments are made timeously so that ESKOM reduces its reliance on the National Treasury for its very operations and continued existence, as should be the case. Number 3, it provides for enhanced institutional capacity. As I mentioned earlier, what we do through our distribution agency operational processes is we facilitate skills transfer to the municipalities and capacity building at the local level. It also means it creates an employment opportunity for adequately skilled resources, of which I believe there are quite a few in our country, to come to the fore in order to alleviate the challenges that are faced within the municipalities in partnership with ESKOM, so that we can restore those capabilities within the municipalities that are impacted. And then it also provides for alignment with our strategic priorities, where the DAA supports ESKOM's strategic objectives in strengthening balance sheet and the promotion of equitable, affordable, and sustainable electricity services. Okay, I'm moving on to slide 5. We will go into the specifics of the Inxuba Yethemba local municipality to show the committee specifically what the situation is there as at the end of June, per the numbers that I will present. Slide number 6, Chairperson, of 10, the executive summary. If I can continue on this one, and then we'll unpack in detail later on. The debt grew insofar as this municipality is concerned, despite a court order in June 2020 due to non-payment of our current accounts. Now, the current accounts is really a very good lead indicator to show that things are moving in the right direction when When the current accounts are up to date, it means that we're actually stopping the bleeding. We then work in partnership with the municipalities to ensure that the arrears amounts are restructured, and we find ways in which we can do it. If I may just add an example here for City of Joburg, for instance, the largest metro, where the debt amount, it was exceeding around 7.2 billion. Through the interventions such as the one I speak about, we've been able to actually cut back on a lot of that amount and nearly half that figure. But it did require this active participation and cooperation from the municipality in concern. Back to the Inxuba Yethemba. After that, admitted to the Municipal Debt Relief Program in November 2023, National Treasury conditions required full on-time payment of the current account, which the municipality failed. Then a cooperative agreement between ESKOM and the municipality was signed in May 2020, which was also not honored, and then subsequently, unfortunately, terminated in November of the same year. National Treasury then issued a termination notice from the debt relief program to the municipality in February 2026, and various other municipalities were impacted by this because there was no compliance with the program. It offered the municipalities a golden opportunity to write off a third of the debt, which unfortunately was not taken up. And as we sit here today, there's been no willingness to set out a council resolution for the implementation of the distribution agency agreement. I'll come to the consequences that ESKOM is then left with should this not materialize anytime soon. The current status is that the total overdue debt as at the end of June 2026 is just under 1 billion rand, which is 943 million, and includes the 435 ring-fenced amount. Debt has grown by 508 million rand since the debt relief program was initiated, and it continues to grow unabated. And ESKOM continues to supply under these very difficult conditions. The current capital bill ranges between 10 million per month in the summer months, where load is lower, up to about 19 million in the winter months as we sit here today. And this continues to grow. There's been a 5 million rand monthly payment proposal received from the municipality, but unfortunately it doesn't even cover the lower summer months current account, and we have not accepted that as a meaningful settlement plan to go forward on. We require at least a 10 million rand monthly settlement of the current account, which is equivalent to the average summer months current bill, as to settle the shortfall, and then also the use of the equitable share payments, of which I think the total value for this municipality is about 58 million rand annually in total, which we will also need to look at how we use that funding to be able to offset some of the arrears amount. The interventions that ESKOM has done thus far in April 26, we have issued then the PAJA notice, which is actually the step we are at this moment. We have failed through the presentation, as I've described, on various levels to secure a way out of the situation that we find ourselves in, and we're left with no choice but to go to that now. We've pursued payment of current accounts and commitment to payment proposals through engagement with the municipality, Provincial Treasury, National Treasury, DEE, the Minister's Advisors, the MECs, COCTA, and various other. We've been to most places, the chairperson, and still we find ourselves in this position. The proposed interest suppression on the current account on condition of payment of monthly bulk accounts is what we've also set as further relief. And we recommend strongly and want to reiterate here again that we do pass the council resolution, the Munich does so, and we start working towards the implementation and adoption of the distribution agency agreement. I just want to check if I'm audible and everything is still visible from my side, Chairperson.
You can continue. We're still with you.
Thank you, Chairperson. So we're proposing, therefore, way forward. The municipality accepts our proposed pay arrangement, which we've been in socializing with them. We must then implement also the distribution agency agreement as the long-term sustainable solution to resolve the challenges. And unfortunately, which we really don't want to get to, Chairperson, is if we fail to adopt this, we're left with little choice but to proceed with the PAJA process. On to my next slide, slide 7 of 10. This basically spells out the numbers for this particular municipality. I want to focus the committee's attention to the charts. I'll just put a narrative alongside. So chart on the top, overdue debt, basically shows how the debt has mounted. Financial year ending March 2021, 171 capital 34 interest portion has grown to 780 capital 163, a total of 943 million. And this continues to grow as we speak. The bottom chart is actually the telling story insofar as this particular one is concerned. There's a bit of a busy slide, but I'll hope to take the members through the various parts of it as I go through the presentation. So it's effectively showing us the actual amounts that the municipality owes us. It then also shows the year-to-date payment and then the overdue debt. So the overdue debt is the line chart that's on the bottom graph. And there you 143 as at the end of June. It was 206 in March 2021. The bills that we process through is basically showing you how much that gets charged across to the municipality, and that contributes then to the growing debt amount amounting to the 943. But what is concerning, Chairperson and honourable members, is the light grey bar graph at the bottom here of the chart, which basically shows the amounts that we actually receive. So as you can see, for instance, in the financial year ending March 2026, the total debt amount stood at 896 million rand. We only received 5 million the entire year from this particular municipality. And clearly that is, for any business, let alone ESKOM, and in particular, given our situation, is an untenable situation. ESKOM continues to provide the power to the municipality, but we are definitely not making any progress in terms of being paid what is due to us. And this situation is very telling from this particular chart. I've calculated as an average of about 19 million rand that's been paid, and that average is deteriorating year on year. Particular financial year 2026, we only received 5, whereas in the previous year, 19 out of 147, and this is what's accelerating and exacerbating the debt situation. As of June 2026, we've only gotten 1 million rand into the account and contributed a further 39 million to the problem. The arrangements that we have made, I'm on to, sorry, Chairperson, slide 8. We almost finished with my presentation. So in summary, 943 million overdue debt as at the end of June. National Treasury approved the budget for the bulk electricity purchases of 150 million. This is in terms of the submissions. The municipality further accrued for 126 million for that FY July 25 to June 26, with only 5 million paid. So accruals are being made, 126 million. The annual financial statements also support this as per the audited results, but only 5 million of that made its way to ESKOM. Year-to-date payment in 26-27, 1.2 million rand thus far, with bills of 55 million up to June 2026. And the projected 141 million shortfall for the 12-month period is what we're seeing against only a 5 million rand recovery thus far. The proposed 5 million payment is the minimum required to cover the current account. In fact, we need 10 as a starting point. We've not accepted that as a settlement amount. The current account, excluding interest, ranges from about 10 to 19, as I explained previously. But in summary, we find that our situation is not getting just bad in terms of the mounting debt, but the amount of funds that make its way to ESKOM is also drying up as time goes on. On to my next slide, slide 9. The interventions to date, to summarize: number 1 was the court process in June 2020. High Court ordered that they pay the current account and to pay 900,000 rand per month to settle the arrears, not the current amount account that needs to be settled monthly. And that also separate accounts be established for the collection and then onward payment to ESKOM for electricity services rendered. This order was not honoured. Number 2, the debt relief program admission and conditions. The municipality was admitted in November 2023, but failed the critical condition of monthly current account payments since its admission, and Treasury then issued termination notice in February 2026. There are other municipalities that are in the same situation, Chairperson. Number 3, cooperative agreement. In May 2025, a cooperative agreement required payment of current accounts plus a reduction from the 900 to 500 toward overdue debt. This agreement was also not honored. Only 4 million rand was received in June 25 and November of the same year, and the agreement was terminated in November for non-adherence to the agreement, and current accounts were not paid. In April 26, PAJA notice was issued with the following conditions, following options, Chairperson: prepayment option, implementation of the DAA, and then handing over of customers to ESKOM. And this is pretty much the standard process that we do follow, which is also regulated on our side and audited. And then our current proposal, we then said, okay, 5 million rand immediate payment by 30 June, which I believe was not honored. Going forward, a minimum payment of 10 million per month towards the current account. And then a monthly shortfall to be paid with the equitable share, which they would buy now. And then also to enter into the DAA, as I explained earlier. In conclusion, Chairperson and members, the DAA is the strategic active partnering model that we implement across our municipalities in order to improve sustainability, revenue collection, and service delivery. While conventional service providers prioritize recovery of service costs, ESKOM prioritizes the long-term stabilization and payment of the current account before recovery of cost to serve, thereby supporting the sustainability and the technical sustainability at the same time of the municipalities insofar as supply of electricity services are concerned. The DAA establishes a long-term partnership focused on sustainable distribution and reliable supply of electricity. The municipality can pay the current accounts for most months or more than the current offer of 5 million per month. We believe this is true because of the amounts that are reflected in what they accrue for. The municipality is purchasing electricity from ESKOM monthly, distributing that energy, collecting payment, but unfortunately almost none of those funds make their way back to ESKOM. Accepting less than the current account would further exacerbate the situation in our view, and would allow the arrears to spiral out of control at an accelerated pace, which further compromises ESKOM sustainability. And we strongly support then the implementation of the DAA as a sound solution in the long term to ensure sustainable revenue collection and also the technical sustainability of the municipalities itself, so that the customers in those areas can continue to live in dignity and continue their activities knowing that there's a sound and reliable supply of electricity to them. Chairperson, I finished my presentation. We would take any questions at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Junaid, for the presentation. HOD, DM, is there any addition politically that you want to make?
The only addition I did make in the beginning is just to once again, like I said, I'm not too sure if the municipality is online or not, but if the select committee could just once again reiterate the importance of the DAAs, and to maybe get clarity from them as to why their council voted against it, but then to encourage them to please take up this offer of the DAAs. It's working well in other municipalities, and it could work well in this one too. Thank you.
Thank you, DM. I suppose the presentation, because what I've picked up is that the presentation by Junaid spoke to two issues that have been highlighted, unless there is other presentation that is still outstanding. Let me just verify. Junaid,
Chairperson, through you, this is the entirety of our presentation.
Yeah,
we are happy to take any questions that might come up from the honorable members.
Yeah, no, that's what I picked up, that you have already clubbed the two issues together in the presentation. Because at least to the latter part of the presentation, we're now focused on the municipality in the Eastern Cape. And safe to say that as the committee will be going to that specific municipality. I know they've changed the name. It's Yethemba, I think, from Craddock. This next week we are in Northwest. The following week we are in the provincial week, and then immediately after provincial week we'll be in the Eastern Cape to specifically to attend to this municipality. Also to understand the issues that the presentation is raising in terms of its frustration around the council and the inability to adhere to the agreements of the distribution and all of that, so that at least we try to sensitize them about the importance of keeping to the agreements and all of that. So let me take honorable members, their questions, their inputs, their concerns. Honorable Pina, I see your hand is up. Honorable members, Honorable Boshoff, Honorable van den Berg, going once, going twice, gone. So we have 4 members. We have Honorable Pina, Honorable Boshoff, Honorable van den Berg, and Honorable Notata Tlangis. In that, or unless member you are struggling to raise your hand, is there a member that is struggling to raise a hand? Going once, going twice, gone. So we only have 4 members: Honorable Pinar, Honorable Boshoff, Honorable van den Berg, and Honorable Notata Tlangis. Honorable Pinar, it's let me do this. It's 10:50. In your next 10 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to the new DM. We trust we will have a great working relationship going forward like we had with the previous DM. Through you, Chairperson, the majority of my questions are aimed at the executive from ESKOM. So 2 main questions, Chairperson. The first one is, he spoke of the 71 municipalities who signed the agreements. 8 are paying their current invoices and complying. 8 are paying, and 11 are fully complying and paying. So we are left with 52 municipalities. What is the status on those municipalities? Are they not complying at all? And because my concern is they're heading the same way that Craddock is heading to. So if I can just give clarity on those 52 other municipalities that are not being mentioned, and what is the status of them, and what's being done with that, whether they're owing 1 billion or 10 million. I think it's critical. We must put a stop to this, Chairperson, before it sets a new precedent in this country. I think the days of allowing municipalities to go with this collapsing municipal infrastructure, municipal services are long gone, and we as government need to intervene rather sooner than later. So if you can just get the feedback from the executive there. And then I want to also know from ESKOM, you spoke about the PIA, and you spoke about your DDAs. My question is, in my research, I found that simply by using the PIA, you're not able to interdict their bank accounts necessarily. However, in the past, there were 2 municipalities, city of Motlasana and Letsemeng local municipality. You actually approached the High Court there, and you interdicted the municipality's bank account. And it was quite successful after that. I just want to know from your side, why you're not taking the same approach here? Is it because of public pressure? Because I mean, the problem with PIA, and it's obviously one of the only options you're left with as ESKOM, but it can take up to a few years to fully implement it. I mean, they can still stall this thing for years if they really want to as a municipality. So why aren't you, going to the High Court to interdict their bank accounts? Because you have done it in the past as ESKOM with those other 2 municipalities I mentioned. And then, Chair, I think it's good that our committee is going. In closing, I think it's good our committee is going to do this municipality to directly hear from them what the excuses are, because this has clearly been dragged on for years now, and was luckily we're seeing with the Minister of Finance that those days are gone now. In this GNU government, we will act decisively, and we must so as well as a committee. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you
Thank
very
you, Honourable.
much.
Yes, Member, it's your Member Poshoff.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I thought we were just jumping from the one speaker to the next. All protocol observed, as Honourable Pienaar has welcomed the new DM as well as yourself. I'm just going to jump in. I'm very worried about this because not only ESKOM's sustainability and well-being is on the table now. We have seen many municipalities where people are being subjected to load reduction because the municipality is not honouring the DAA or is just not paying over any of its monies to ESKOM. And at the end of the day, it's we as residents that suffer. I am in a municipality where the ESKOM debt is standing at 2.2 billion. Now, I cannot understand why so much attention is being paid to one municipality that has less ESKOM debt than many other municipalities whose debts are much higher. But that is not an argument at this stage. But if you look at the Municipal Systems Act, Section 62, if I remember correctly, an outsider may file an internal appeal with the municipal manager regarding any outstanding debt. Now, is there no way that ESKOM can do this as well, so that we have more avenues that we can use or more actions that we can use to ensure that municipalities come to the party to ensure, as the Group Executive Distribution Manager said, Mr. Munshi, to ensure ESKOM sustainability and well-being. Because if we are going to allow municipalities to give government and ESKOM the middle finger, we are going to find ourselves in dire straits. And at the end of the day, it is us as residents who diligently pay our accounts, seeing ourselves sitting in the dark or becoming self-sustainable. And then again, if we become self-sustainable, ESKOM's going to, the municipalities and ESKOM's going to get no revenue because people are on solar. Then another avenue will have to be looked at to ensure that municipalities remain viable. And then I'd like to know, in closing, why has ESKOM allowed municipalities to build up this debt over so many years before jumping in and doing something about it? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Poshoff. Let's take Honourable van den Berg.
Thank you, Chair. I have a bandwidth problem. If you would excuse me from not opening the video, I can quickly do so just to show that I am present. Here I am. Thank you. Now, on your, I believe it's the second slide, or the second one, your statement is that ESKOM is unable to put a date on the unbundling of the distribution division due to the municipal debt owed to ESKOM, and you are seeking support from government. Now, my first question is, what is the support that you need? Except, as you have mentioned later, maybe ring-fencing the debt, which we have been calling for since 2019. But when I do a quick search, it mentions that you cannot do this unbundling because automatically your plant national electricity company will fall into solvency tests. But the municipal money is owed to them, which means that it is actually money that has to come in. So I'm asking the question, why does this historical debt not move over, or not debt, debt, which is actually a income that must come to ESKOM. Why is it not moved directly to ESKOM generation, the factories, and then this new entity can start afresh. Then also I need to know this entity, how much does the new entity, or will the new entity then owe to ESKOM Generation, and are they already arrears from the entity to ESKOM, or will they be in arrears? Is that the reason why we are saying that they are running into solvency issues and possible solvency tests? So I need to know how your billing system is working, and why historical debt will have an influence on the newly formed distribution company, and how did you then manage to finance ESKOM debt in the past, generation debt and loans? How did you secure loans if you have not reported the particular different economical costs? If you can just explain that to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable van der Berg. Let's take the last speaker on the platform, and that is Honorable Notat.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you and the honorable members. Good morning to the Deputy Minister and the department. Chair, let me also welcome the presentation. It is clear that there are some strides that ESKOM is trying to do, but I still need to know, Chair, that this DAA applies to all the municipalities that has debt to ESKOM. Why I am asking, Chair, it is because there are these rural and poor municipalities that are unable even to collect anything from the people that they are supplying with electricity. I don't know if at any stage ESKOM will be able to get this debt collected from these municipalities. The other thing, Chair, in the rural areas, because I'm from the rural area, I must speak what I see or what I observe around me, that most of the people are not even buying electricity. Bayawutsweba, Chair, andazi uba kuthiwani nge-English. Bayawutsweba, they are not buying electricity, and those few people that are buying electricity around them suffer at times, because if it's very cold, they would put on their electricity heaters that those who are buying do not even consider using them because of the high rate cost of electricity. But we find that electricity will just go off because it's heavy to the electric, and they don't pay. So I'm checking as to what ESKOM do in order to do these checks. For instance, it was in my place, they were last done 8 years ago, where they found that a lot of people, almost the whole area, is not buying electricity. And then they had to make them pay. They were charged all those monies. And these people knows that if it happens now, it will take another 10 years to come. So they will again go back. So those are the challenges that I think they also need to be taken into consideration. If there are spot checks from now and then, everybody will buy electricity, and this burden to ESKOM will at least lessen. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Notata, and all members that have made their inputs, questions, and raised their concerns. Junaid, just for heads up, when member says Batsweba, means that they are short-circuiting the electricity as opposed to buying the electricity. So they've got creative ways of getting electricity without necessarily buying it. We'll hand over to you and the team to respond to questions, concerns and comments made by honorable members.
No, noted, and thank you very much, Chairperson, also for that short lesson in the informal language used. We take the questions as well received. Some of the questions are out of scope of what we've discussed today. I'll do my best to answer them, even if it's at a cursory level, and happy to come back with more detailed responses should the committee and the honourable members require that from us. So through you, Chairperson, and through the DM, the first question was really about the process that we are undertaking, the debt recovery situation as it sits at the national, or the debt situation as it sits at the national level. Indeed, it is true that we are struggling with a vast number of municipalities, some 52 correctly is calculated there. The process we take is very regulated through the governance frameworks within which we operate, and that is also a partnering approach that we need to utilize with regard to the municipalities, COCTA, SALGA, National Treasury, our very own ministry from Department of Electricity and Energy. It is not as if we have the liberty to operate outside of that. We have taken various matters to various courts across the country, in some instances being successful, in others not so. The process, and to answer the question specifically around interdiction of bank accounts, that must follow a specific process that we need to adhere to. Basically, that municipalities on the debt relief program are considered to be part of the IGR, intergovernmental relief processes. They need to be removed from this process to begin with, before the courts will hear our case, failing which the courts will deem the process to be underway with regard to the processes that we follow outside of litigation. Once we do that, move from the program, which is why National Treasury has opted to remove municipalities from the program, obliged to follow this PAJA process as I'd explained in the presentation. This then enables the municipality to defend their matter in court, and for us to also get a court order for alternative recompenses. The process is very cumbersome. It's very time consuming. It is also, not to mention, very costly. And then if they default against some settlement arrangement that we put into place, it then only allows us to state the non-compliance and then request for the attaching of assets and or bank accounts in that particular instance. It is very much an outcome of the PAJA process. So we can't sort of, step ahead of the process that's been given to us. And this is the reason why matters take a long time before they find their way into the high courts. I'm not sure myself, but I believe this might have been a change to the prevailing processes that ESKOM was following at the time, most likely to afford the municipalities the opportunity to rehabilitate and to enter into settlement agreements prior to burdening the courts with these matters. We do go that way, as the member had pointed out. There are cases where ESKOM has been successful, and there are cases where court matters also, given my limited time here, have also not been heard, have been put forward for future hearings and the like. So this is the journey we walk through you, Chairperson, to the honourable member. I hope I've addressed that one. The next one is really about, I think the question talks to what we term as load reduction, where it is not debt driven. The debt matter is dealt with through this approach where we work with National Treasury. Debt relief program was implemented. A vast majority have not complied. We then enter into some kind of settlement agreement, which also then talks to some of the equitable share payments used to offset debt. We then follow the DAA process. We then go to PAJA, courts, and this is how the journey unfolds. The load reduction is another challenge that ESKOM faces. The challenge number 1 or 2, depending on how you want to put it into context, is that of losses and theft of electricity. It's also what the honourable member spoke about at the end about rural areas, illegal connections and the like. What this does basically is when you find illegal connections and meter bypassing and the like happening in our network, and it happens in a big way, it basically puts our infrastructure at risk. Transformers and various other assets are overloaded, and that results in the physical destruction actually of the equipment. So what we then do is we look at these feeders that are affected, and we effectively shut them down during times of the day to prevent the overloading and the overloading of the assets and the protection of the infrastructure so that we can continue to supply. Notwithstanding these efforts, we still find that equipment losses are still experienced, and that then incurs additional costs to replace that equipment, and so the cycle unfortunately continues. It is also partly why the debt relief is quite important, so that we can restore services, we can implement the appropriate metering technology to be able to manage this more effectively, and that we don't incur costs unnecessarily as a result of this practice, which is very widespread across various municipalities, not just rural ones, but metros in particular at the same time. I'm also pleased to perhaps report here, I know it's not in scope of today's meeting, but just as we come to this point, load reduction existed across all 9 of our provinces. We're happy to report that we have managed to eliminate, is the word we use, load reduction in 6 of our 9 provinces. It's only now down to Gauteng, KZN, and Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape, we've only got 1 feeder left to go, and we're aiming by the end of the financial year, March 2027, to completely eradicate load reduction. This, honourable members, through the chair, is being done through the ESKOM implementation of smart meter technology, which allows us the ability to manage load at a more granular level. So if there are, let's use a hypothetical example, 1,000 customers connected to a feeder, we don't disconnect the entire feeder. We have the ability to then remove particular meter points on that feeder without affecting customers that that are not guilty of stressing the network out. So that's another initiative that we are furiously working against to ensure a reliable service to all of our customers, whilst also managing the challenges of illegal connections, meter bypassing, and the like, which is where the load reduction to it. But invariably, to the member's point, it also impacts our sustainability, and relief measures are connected to the overall situation within ESKOM. Moving on to the next one, Chairperson, through you, the unbundling question. I don't have the full detail for this session today. We're happy to come back with more clarity on that one in particular. But in a nutshell, when we talk about the fact that Munich debt is one of the biggest impediments to the ESKOM distribution unbundling, is because of the one of many conditions that we need to meet, is that the business, if you ring fence ESKOM distribution, it needs to pass the liquidity and solvency tests of our auditors and the AG in particular. As the situation stands at the moment, our liabilities are far greater than what the business can sustain when you look at the distribution business as a ring-fenced entity. So what happens is the revenue we collect, a portion of it has to be paid across to the National Transmission Company, as transfer pricing, we call it, and then a portion of that also goes towards the generation business for the payment of the cost to produce electricity. And then ESKOM distribution is left with its portion, which we sometimes refer to as the wheeling fee, the portion we use to recover the cost of the asset to distribute that electricity. And when we look at the debt, which is basically accrued to the distribution business, that liability position versus what we're collecting is not giving us the comfort that we need to ensure that it's liquid and solvent to be able to move on to the next stage. There was a sub-question asked around ESKOM generation and how that gets funded, and how is ESKOM in general funded if this is the situation. The short answer through the chairperson and honourable members is that we turn to National Treasury and our tariffing through NERSA to be able to provide the necessary funding to ESKOM through, one, the revenue collection against the respective tariffs that are determined by NERSA on a cost recovery basis, and number two, and on that point, maybe to add that the debt situation that we find ourselves in is not a factor in the determination of tariffs. So that comes through as a pure liability into our income statement, and then obviously sits on our balance sheet. And then National Treasury has been putting these bailouts to ESKOM to be able to continue the operation of the organization. And clearly that situation is furthermore unsustainable and untenable. Hence, the reiteration of the situation as far as the reduction of the Munich arrears becomes imperative, not just to ESKOM, but I think it removes or alleviates then the pressure on National Treasury to continue to ensure the continued operation of ESKOM in itself. And then the last one was around the rural areas, illegal connections, the collection challenges that the municipalities have. We are all too aware of these rural areas, not necessarily in particular, but I think it's across the board, from metros all the way down to rural communities and municipalities that are charged with the governance of service delivery there, face similar issues. Illegal connections, meter bypassing, overloading. These are real issues that ESKOM battles with on a day-to-day basis. Moreover, aside from the destruction of our infrastructure, which is critical to reliable and cost-effective service delivery, we also find members of the communities, being killed in the process as a result of tampering with our infrastructure, which by its very nature is hazardous. And we are disheartened by those events, one of which happened again yesterday or this weekend, apologies, as someone attempting an illegal connection in one of the suburbs in Cape Town. We do have measures in place, multifocal. One is around communication with communities, two, partnering with local government in order to highlight the dangers of this to residents, and also destruction of infrastructure at the same time. I must also add, Chairperson, we also suffer with the plague of vandalism to our infrastructure, which also further compromises this. So we work alongside the municipalities, and again, as a feature, a distinct feature of the DAA, once that gets implemented, is to be able to capacitate our municipal partners to be able to manage these situations on the ground, because it's also their infrastructure that gets impacted. Number two, to provide expertise, support, and mechanisms with which they can combat and reduce the incident, the losses that come about with that, including things like the inspections that the Honourable Member and various other measures. So there's work afoot in this direction in order to try and remedy the situation. Obviously, more effort is needed, and this is why we appeal, I think, in closing from my side, for the cooperation, the support from this August Select Committee and others to help us in our quest to ensure safe, reliable, and also cost-effective supply of electricity as probably the primary catalyst to economic growth and development. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone from your team except for the DM, Junaid, that might want to speak?
Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I have my colleagues Mbulelo Yedwa, he's the GM for Cape Coastal Cluster, which oversees the operation of this particular municipality, and our Senior Manager for Finance, Atika Bray, who's also on the line should they wish to add to the discussion today.
I also see a hand of Dr. Kashni.
Good morning,
Mbulelo,
Chairperson.
yes.
I'm from the department.
Continue, Doc. Continue.
All right. Thank you, Chairperson. I'm from the Department of Electricity and Energy. I just wanted to offer or strengthen the explanation pertaining to the unbundling. According to the Companies Act, if you want to establish a subsidiary, then each subsidiary must pass this liquidity and solvency test. So with the revenues that are going to be constrained due to the municipal debt, the ESKOM distribution would not be able to pass that pass those tests. So the debt cannot be then transferred to the ESKOM generation business, because each business needs to be viable in its own right. And in the unbundling of the ESKOM, we are going to move on to also create a subsidiary for ESKOM generation. And similarly for ESKOM transmission, the NTCSA becomes an independent transmission system operator. So if we don't arrest the debt situation, we would also be unable to create this independent transmission system operator as well, because that subsidiary would also not be able to pass the liquidity and the solvency tests. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Doc. I see you, Honorable Pinar and Honorable van den Berg. Let the team finish first. You'll come back. Let's take. You did say Mbulelo, right?
Yes, Chairperson. If we can allow him a few minutes, please.
Yes, no, thank you very much tonight, and thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I think my boss has covered me. But all I can say, Chairperson, is that this problem of Munich debt is not as ESKOM problem as far as I'm concerned. It's a country problem. The last time I checked, we were sitting at close to 120 billion. And it's true what was said by the honorable member. With this problem, we will not be able to pass that solvency and liquidity test. And secondly, Chairperson, the whole issue, I call it what it is, of electricity theft. It's a big problem. We need to deal with this as a collective. I'm of the view that there's no way that we can individualize a big problem like this. And it's true what Junaid said. A member of the public died recently because he was attempting to connect illegally. So the safety aspect of this problem it's very, very important, Chair. But I'm covered. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who else is here, Junaid?
Junaid.
Chairperson, through you, there's Atika from Finance. Maybe, Atika, you could talk a bit more about the measures we've implemented or tried to implement with the Munich to try and resolve the problem.
Morning, Chair. Morning, colleagues. In terms of engagements that we've had with the municipality, as the GE indicated in his presentation, we've had numerous engagements in terms of meetings with various parties to try and resolve this issue. One of them being the advisor to the Minister of Energy and Electricity as well. In these engagements, they were on numerous occasions encouraged to, as a minimum, pay their current account going forward, and based on that, we would then see that the municipality will maintain and not have the debt escalate. But unfortunately, that has not happened, and hence we have put down the proposal that a minimum of 10 million be paid towards their current account, and the shortfall thereof be paid as from the equitable share when that is paid during the course of the year, Chair. So just to avoid the increase in an expiring of the debt. Unfortunately, those commitments have not been met by the municipality, and hence we are at this position where we are having to take further measures in terms of, from an ESKOM perspective, the only alternative would then be to introduce the PAJA notice, which we have previously issued as well, if we're not successful with the DAA or the payment arrangement in terms of the current account, Chair.
Is that all, right?
That's all from our side.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, that's it from our side. Thank you.
All right, because we already received the department from the doc itself on their views on the issues. Aska, we have a user here. It's 4U024 Data Lab 1's iPhone 2. I don't know who's that. And he keeps on switching on the video, and we see political party banner there. I don't know who's that. Next time, let's not allow anyone whom their gadget is not named. Just find out who's the 4U024 Data Lab 1 iPhone 2. So that if he or she needs to make an input, we don't close them out, but we need to know who they are. And please use a proper background, not a political banner background. We are in a parliament meeting. We're not in a political rally meeting. We request that you switch off your video, find a proper background, and then use it, and not a political party background banner. Honorable van den Berg and Honorable Pinar, a follow-up.
Hey. They always want to ring when you have to speak, nah? Yes, Chair. I have got a follow-up regarding the answer on the unbundling. And that is that, and please help me if I'm not correct, but the word debt is actually incorrect. We should actually refer to historical aged outstanding debtors to distribution from the municipalities. And I fail to see how the liquidity argument could be a hindrance for unbundling when this is money that still needs to go to distribution, although it is historical. Does that also mean that there is unmentioned historical outstanding debt between distribution and ESKOM generation being the creditor? If that is the case, then I can understand that there's liquidity problems towards creation of a distribution entity because they have debts that are unpaid towards generation. We need clarity on this because it affects the statement on slide 1 that said that it is being held back due to debt from municipalities, because it is the description is not correct. And if that is the case, does that not influence the message that ESKOM carries out towards people that are giving them financial support? And is that not a form of misrepresentation? Thank you.
Honorable Pinar.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm not at all satisfied with the answer regarding the 52 municipalities that are not being listed. I want to know what's ESKOM's current position on them, and what is ESKOM doing, and what part of the process they are with those 52 municipalities. Now, I don't expect them now to go through the 52 municipalities and explain what stage they are with each of them. But can I please request through you a written response on that? So I want a clear position on where ESKOM is at what stage with regards to those 52 municipalities, so we can keep track of it and hold them accountable to the process. Thank you, Chair.
Do you remember which 52 municipalities specifically are we speaking to?
No, Chair. ESKOM, when they presented, did not mention them. However, they did say there are 71. 8 are currently complying with the current bills, and 11 are fully complying with the historic and current. However, there are still 52 that no information was given on. I just want written in writing the current standing and what process are being pursued to get into account. My worry is, Chair, if we don't hold them to the fire, we're going to have another few Klaroks in a few years' time. So I want to make sure ESKOM is doing everything they can to hold those 52 municipalities accountable. Thank you.
I'm with you. I understand exactly what you are saying from the presentation itself. Honorable van den Berg, you are disputing that the debt is the reason why the unbundling is unable to take place. Are you disputing the terminology around the unbundling?
Yes, Chair, I am disputing that. That I feel that we should get a better explanation as to how the fact that there's municipal debt contributes to the fact that the unbundling cannot take place.
Okay, Junaid, I'm sure now it's much clearer. Or rather, the talk from the department. I'm sure you also heard where the dispute is coming from in relation to the unbundling. So Junaid and Doc, I'm not sure who's going to take first. Oh, the mic of Junaid is already on. So let's take Junaid, and then we'll be followed by Doc.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. If I may respond to the second one first and then back to the unbundling, with your permission. On the 52 municipalities, we welcome the request from the Honorable Member I believe it will also help us put the spotlight on the issues that we're facing, and hoping that that will also bring some additional support that we would desperately ask to help expedite these efforts on our part. So we will put forward a written submission, if that is acceptable, Chairperson, on the status of the 52 and perhaps others that may find their way through as we get the submission ready for the committee. On the first question, Honourable Chairperson, I'll ask my colleague from DEE to also come in, but we would also request then maybe a more detailed written explanation of this matter. Safe to say that we have explained that mounting debt in the light of liquidity and solvency tests are a major obstacle to the unbundling, because the unbundled entity in National Electricity Distribution Company of South Africa needs to meet, amongst other, the liquidity and solvency tests that are put to it, as any company would need to pass those tests as far as the Companies Act is concerned. The second part to that question was about, do we have outstanding arrears to our generation colleagues? The answer is no. In fact, the situation is that we continue to service or accrue for the debt in distribution whilst we fully settle the transfer fees that are due from us by NTCSA and generation. So if it pleases through you, Honourable Chair, the Honourable Committee members, that we respond in writing to both of them with more detailed and qualified explanations from my colleagues on that front. I'd ask DEE perhaps to weigh in on that as well, please.
That request is more than welcome. Please do so. We truly appreciate that one.
Thank
Let's
you,
take
Honourable
Doc. Yes, Doc.
Thanks, Chairperson. Financial liquidity is the ability of a business to be able to meet its financial short-term obligations. If the revenues are not coming in, then you are going to have liquidity challenges. In terms of the debt, yes, the debt may be historic, but the debt has been split already between the three businesses. Hence, the debt is accumulating. It's not being written off, and of course you would have to be paying, because you had borrowed that money. So you would still need to be paying somebody for those borrowings, and therefore it would prevent that unbundling from moving forward. Thank you.
We hear you so well, Doc. Maybe it will also assist if we could have it in writing, so that, because we are going to that municipality 2 weeks from now, so that when we go there, at least we have these explanations in writing. So when we engage with the municipality, we also able to raise some of the issues that have been raised by the presentation and yourself as a department. And then we are able to deposit all of them together as a unit or as a bundle to the municipality to reconsider what the council would have agreed on, and see how best can we then move forward. I hope that will make sense. If we could just get that response in writing in the next 7 days, we'll appreciate it very much. So today is Tuesday, latest by end of business next week Tuesday. If we could have that, we'll truly appreciate it so very much. Thank you so much, Doc. Let's take this opportunity to then invite the Deputy Minister back on the platform to give us her political overview of the presentation, including her parting remarks. DM?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'll be very brief. You have the commitments from ESKOM and the department to submit those outstanding requests in writing. But just to say, committee, what would also help on the questions that relate to all the other municipalities is last week, like I said, I sat in a very useful engagement with COCTA, the National Treasury, and those 13 municipalities. It was unfortunate that not all 13 municipalities were present with their mayors, and some of them were not even prepared, but that's a topic for another day. But what would help is that perhaps your committee can reach out to National Treasury for that in that presentation, because they've very clearly highlighted, where they are, which municipalities are successfully paying and successfully remedially their actions on the program, and then of course which ones are just absolutely not doing their part. And what maybe I'll do from my side is send through the name of the National Treasury official that you can engage with, your office can engage with, to get that presentation from them before your oversight into the municipalities. But just once again, Chairperson, thank you for your and your committee's constructive inputs, and for the reassurances that we can work together to, ensure that South Africans have reliable electricity, for one, and that it's also our responsibility and goal to make sure they have more affordable electricity, because without either, we cannot grow our economy, and we cannot get our millions of people, in particular our youth, into jobs and employment. So thank you for the engagement.
Thank you, DM. And I think our take home from these discussions today is the affordable electricity. I'm sure if everyone can be able to be in a situation where we afford to buy electricity, that will minimize the creative ways of finding people with electricity yet they're not buying it. If I spend 4,000 rand a month to buy electricity, and in the process I must switch on and off the geyser just to try and save electricity, I don't think that's the way to go. But we agree with you, and once more we assure you, DM, and we assure the entity which is ESKOM, that we are here to work hand in glove with everyone. We're not here to be something else. We're not here to point fingers. We're here to raise concerns. We're here to question certain things that have been done. And once explanation has been provided, believe you me, we'll be the first one to go out there and explain on your behalf where we can that these are the reasons why you see this and that is happening. And to show that we are prepared to work hand in glove, tomorrow we have what we call the joint committee meetings. Myself as the chair of the committee, the chair of the committee on COPTA and on finance with the minister of COPTA. Because there's some things that are happening with regards to the issues of electricity, which I believe your office has been also been made aware of, so that we are able to work together to try and resolve challenges that are facing South Africans. So yes, DM, we are here, we are prepared to work with you, and we will definitely be willing to work with you. It's up to you to work with us and to raise issues with us at any given day. You don't even have to wait for a meeting. Ask ICA if you want to speak to any of our members and you don't have their contacts, quickly go to ASCA, and ASCA will provide them to you, and then we can be able to move. And we'll do the same as well. Through Ntlamolo, we can always come back to the department and say there are following issues that are not that the committee is not happy with, and the timeframes that have been agreed upon, and so on and so forth. So we're not. I want you to remember one thing: we're not here as enemies. We're not here as a judge and jury. We're here to say let's come together. Let's work for the benefit of the South Africans. And with that, DM and your team, and ESKOM led by Junaid and the team, we thank you very much for availing yourself to this meeting. And you are released to attend to other pressing matters that affect the people of South Africa, whilst we continue with our business of the committee. Thank you so much until we meet again. Aska, let's go to our
yes.
meeting.
Yes,
Let's go to our minutes. I don't know if members still remember what we discussed in the last minute, but let's go to them. Yes, let's go through them. We're in that new offices. If you remember, we're in the new offices. That big boardroom there, when we had to ask Ntate Mabilo to chair the meeting, because I had to be called to a meeting by the Parliamentary Protection Services and the South African Police Service and all of that. Honorable members, you were in the meeting. You would remember what was the discussions in that meeting. I've gone through the minutes from what I remember being discussed in that meeting. So I'll hear from you because I don't see Ntatemabilo on the platform. I don't know if he's here or not. Lindy Ngumalo, Sister if you want to go, you can go. Honorable Boshoff, I see your hand.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I went through the minutes and it is a true reflection of what transpired in the meeting, so I move for the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Boshoff. Moves for the adoption of the minutes. Is there any seconder? Honorable van den Berg.
Okay, I will second.
Honorable van den Berg seconds that the minutes are a true reflection of the discussion that took place in the meeting. Mr. Bauer?
Yes, Chairperson.
On what's on next on the agenda item?
Only those two items, Chair. Apologies, I have the flu again.
So do we have announcements that members must note?
Not at the moment. I will make announcements on the group chat as soon as I've confirmed everything.
If anything comes up, Mr. Bauer will inform members on the group chat. Honorable members, may I take this opportunity to thank you so very much for attending the meeting today and being as engaged as you are in relation to the issues of electricity and the availability of affordable electricity. Until we meet again in the next meeting, I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you. Hambani kahle, those that are debating tomorrow, best of luck. Today, those who are asking questions, may the ministers respond to the questions to your satisfactory. If not, please write and let them respond to you in writing. Thank you so much until we meet again. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Oh, Lakubi. What did you say?
Recording stopped.
Kumas,
I
what
said,
did you
me
say?
too, you must stay well.
Say it again.
No, we do that once.
I'm practicing Afrikaans. I'm going to surprise you and Nico. You will hear very soon. I'm practicing here.
I said Salagahle.
Yeah, I also now know how to say, what's that? Rechtersveld. Rechtersveld. Ah, yeah, Papa.